Hey everyone, my name is Jordan. I go by Jorcation. You can call me Jorcation. I'll be happily if you call me Jordan. I'm Jordan outside. On social media, I'm Jorcation. You can call me whatever you like, but ideally, call me Jordan. Today's video is going to be on do not let life live you. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. I feel like there is a misconception on what do not let life live you mean. I believe, life essentially is what we're going through to get to the life that we want to live. And sometimes hard times, adversity can actually bother people to the point where they might go through some hardships. And that's the point of life that I'm saying, don't let it live you. You should live your best life. And how to live your best life, we're going to get into it now. Some of the things I've done in my personal life and some of the things I've highlighted right from when I was a kid, I really looked at the outside world and I really said to myself, what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to do? And I've really followed through and I've stuck with it. I made another video recently on the 26 life lessons as for a 26-year-old. And long story short, just to kind of not go back into those videos, if you want to go see it, check it out, is, you want to be aware of the opportunities you might have around you and possibilities of what that could be. So at the time, I said to myself, with all of the adversity I went through in my life when I was much younger, a young boy growing up in London, is, I want to go through the educational route. A lot of the things I wanted to do, I had a strong passion for finance. I was into the exchange of Bitcoin from a very, very young age from when I was in school. I knew about Bitcoin when I was like 14, 15. I had a few Bitcoin. I had about 4 Bitcoins, surprisingly, at that age, which is quite crazy to say. Of course, didn't hold, as a lot of people would do, by just spending it online, of course, not knowing the value it held then. Unfortunately, I was amongst that group, and I can admit that, that if I had held the Bitcoin, it would have been a completely different scenario, but I'm glad and I'm grateful, of course. At that point in my life, I did say to myself, I wanted to go ahead and get a bachelor's degree in business management. I was very, very, very highly motivated to do this. The course was a great course. I was at Roehampton University in London. It's a university based in southwest London, in Wandsworth. Initially, was quite skeptical. I didn't get into the choices of the universities I wanted to go into. So I kind of went through clearing, got in, and long story short, it was a great experience in year one. And I said, let me just stay here and see how I get on right through to the final year, and then potentially even do a master's as well. That's how much I love the university. So that is kind of how I've let an adversity point in my life kind of turn into something that's positive by just even getting a bachelor's degree done. Now, I get asked this question a lot. A lot of people say, Jordan, how do you stay motivated? How do you get what you want to do done so quickly and effortlessly? I would say, it's a massive achievement to get a bachelor's degree at a young age. Of course, we should all be appreciative for the accomplishments that we have, especially a lot of my friends, I would push them to kind of be more proactive and use the opportunities that we have to kind of spread their success, because we're all successful, and I want everyone, all of the subscribers, all of the people that are tuning into what I'm doing, I want you all to be successful. So that goes back to my point, is how do I stay motivated? How I stay motivated is by looking at what I have in front of me. Right. Sorry about that today. Looking at what I have in front of me in terms of the opportunities, the career options, the sports options, whatever it might be that can help me, essentially get over some form of hardship, whether that's a breakup or whether that's a loss for a game or whether that's a car breaking down and I'm very down. What do I do to respond to emotions that could be quite heartfelt? I find something to do. I've tried to keep myself proactive. I can either go to the library. Of course, I'm somebody that loves to read. I can either get into a sport. These are all things that help me unwind. Today's day and age, when I'm working 80 plus hours a week, and some weeks, I try and find time to play some basketball or go for a run in between some of my shifts so I can kind of, just wind down in a way, fitness wise. I do a lot of walking and running. I'm trying to do a 5K running under 17 minutes. I know it's a bit fast. I'm quite athletic. I'm trying to. So this is a short video on just how not to let life live you, especially as a young person. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that is of any age group. I just say, if you actually want to listen and learn from somebody that is quite reputable and talking about this subject, You can look at a author called Ray Dalio. He's a very smart man. He wrote a book about the principles. Within the principles, there's a line. It says, take audacious risks. There's like a line comes back down and it goes back up. In the midst of the line, there's going to be, I believe there's loss, and it's how you deal with adversity. There's, of course, it's a spiral. So it's never going to be as bad if you keep learning and learning and learning. You just have to keep learning how to control. And if you're going to take an audacious risk, of course, just be aware, of course. And that brings me to my risk management, of course. So if you want to check out that book, of course, it's called Principles by Ray Dalio. And that can help you overcome adversity if you felt that in any instance. I read it and I recommend it. So it was a short video today on how not to let life live you. Thank you for watching. This is Jorcation. Bye.